What's going on, Dragon Ball Z fans? Welcome back, Unentertainment Gaming, here today, joined by the Cloud Brothers Gaming, aka the legendary Paul, and Fatal Brotherhood Gaming, and today we're going to be discussing the possibility of having Bruce Faulconer return to Dragon Ball Super. Now, the entire world has been talking about Bruce's latest tweets, I think spamming about a month and a half ago, talking about how he would love to do business with the Dragon Ball Z again, and how he would love to compose music for that. On the other hand, we have people that are saying no. We already have an official composer for Dragon Ball Super. I can't stress his name very well. I think it's Norihito. Don't hold me accountable to that, but that is supposed to be the composer for Dragon Ball Super. So I wanted to ask you guys here today, what are your thoughts on Bruce Faulconer coming back? A, if he comes back, is he going to do a better job than what he did before? And B, if he does come back, how long is he planning on staying? Is it just for a season? Is it for 2 seasons? Like, what are your overall thoughts and opinions on his tweet? And what are your overall thoughts and opinions, spamming from, people saying that his music sucks and he should just stay away from Dragon Ball Z and allow the Dragon Ball Kai producers to go on ahead and make the music for Dragon Ball Super?
John?
Well, one question at a time here, guy. We got a recovery dude here. Can't answer all that at once.
Oh, yes, you did have surgery, but as I said, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, with people hating Bruce Faulconer music, well, I honestly don't give a rat's ass if you hate it, because it's just like, everyone hates different kinds of music. This, in my opinion, Bruce Faulconer music perfectly fit Dragon Ball Z, and I think that if he's as good as Hans Zimmer, and that's my opinion he is, he can think of great music for Dragon Ball Super, just as a...
So you're saying that Bruce Faulconer's music is equivalent to Hans Zimmer?
Fuck yeah.
I think when paired with Dragon Ball Z it is. Not
really? Why?
Because I haven't heard anything else outside of Dragon Ball Z, and Hans Zimmer can match all types of movies. But with that being said, Bruce Faulconer, they need it for Dragon Ball Z. Everything else sounds like trash in my opinion.
Why? Why is that? Why doesn't Dragon Ball Kai music fit with you?
I can't take the Godzilla attacking music and put it to like the androids attacking Goku. It does not make sense. It does not match up. Bruce Faulconer perfectly captured everything about Dragon Ball Z in its essence, and he did it blindly because they did that show for the first time ever. This is Kai's second time around. They're re-airing the shows that we saw as our childhood, and they're failing. What the fuck? They're failing miserably.
I mean, alright, so if he does come back, I mean, would he be able to, like, keep up with the grounds with having new characters and having to pretty much stretch the span of having to compose music for these characters? Because, again, Beerus is going to have his own theme, I presume. So is Whis. I'm pretty sure they're not going to have, a similar theme to Super Saiyan God as to anything else. So he has to compose music for that. Obviously, you have to feel the characters out to know, like, where they stand. But what are your thoughts on people that often say that Bruce Faulconer music took away from Dragon Ball Z? For example, some people would say, oh, well, every single time there was a moment in Dragon Ball Z where there needed to be silence, Bruce Faulconer took that away with his music. So, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because preferably, I mean, I prefer Bruce Faulconer as well. For the younger audiences watching this, if you go and you just type in on YouTube Bruce Faulconer Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and just listen to some of these songs, I'm not trying to say that all of his songs were awesome, because believe you me, there were some songs that he made that were just absolute trash, but then you had the ones that you could really feel out. You could go to the gym and work out. You can, sit back and think about your life. So many, like, orchestrated music that you can just look back on and say, wow, that was great, as opposed to Kai, in my opinion, where I couldn't relate to any of the songs. So preferably for me, I would lean more towards Faulconer, because he would feel out the characters, and every moment in Dragon Ball Z told its own story through the music alone. So, like, what are your thoughts on him coming back? Like, is this a money issue? Is this more like something where he just, he left because there was no work, and now that there is work, like, how do you see him coming about this?
It's because Dragon Ball Z went cheap.
Explain.
That's why he didn't return to GT, because they were trying to just get money out of it. And the thing is, if he does come back, we have to see if he can recreate what he did 10 years ago. Because back then, like you said, you have to feel out the characters. Back then, he didn't have to feel out the characters. And some of these characters were just introduced, and he still managed to get it down. That's how good. He did it blindly. So if his style...
I wouldn't say that, because it took him 8 months, I believe, to compose... I forgot which character it was, but it took him 8 months to, like, compose this song for that character, or at least for that moment. I forgot which exactly one. I believe it was either in the Cell Saga or after, because I remember reading an article where he was interviewed on what one of his longest durations were, and he said approximately like 7 to 8 months. It took him that long to compose something for I'm not sure if it's the character or if it was like within the moment, but it was one song that it took him 8 months to do because it was that intense on doing. So
well, you see, that's like just the fact that he's putting in that much work for the song. I'm not sure how much these other guys put into it. We had that whole copyright dude. We had all these like.
All right, so I'll stop you right there. What about the guy? What about the guy that had the Budokai?
Yes, Kenji Yamato
versus Bruce Faulconer. I mean, which one would you prefer then?
Now that guy, he had some really good music, but it was all copyrighted, so I can't really say credit that. But it was really good music. It fit the video games, and I think because it fit the video games for us, the nostalgia value carried over to the show, and it actually matched the fighting scene. So I didn't mind it. I actually like Kaio when it had the music, but then they removed it because he got sued.
And they put Gojira in.
Then they put Godzilla attacking music. And then,
but some people actually, believe it or not, some people prefer
I don't
the quote-unquote Godzilla music.
I hate that shit, man. In Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, there were moments where there was silence, and that was the most boring.
Some people love that, believe it or not.
I hated that. That's not Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is about beating the shit out of your opponent with like loud music playing and just having this motivational speaking in your head going on. It's crazy.
Every time there was a fight sequence in Dragon Ball Z, it's usually fast-paced fighting. Recently in like Revival F, we saw a whole bunch of slow punches and stuff. Like it's like there's so much power in Goku's fist now. It's just like it's not the same speed that he used to keep up with.
But again, going back to what I was reading, a while ago in the comments, not quoting word for word because it was a long time ago. But again, there was somebody that compared Bruce Faulconer's music to, I believe it was Attack on Titan music, and I think there was one other anime. There were certain moments in Attack on Titan where it needed to be silenced because
that's
of the moment of the atmosphere, the emotion. Same thing goes with I believe he said Gundam. There was another.
Yeah, but those are completely different animes.
Those are different animes, and I've watched Attack on Titan so many times. I can say that anime is fucking perfect. I don't know what silence.
It is. I mean, Attack on Titan is amazing. And did you see the live action trailer that's coming out? It's going to be a great film, but
that's
that
a bad
show
comparison.
had moments where there was silence.
It doesn't matter. That's a bad comparison because Dragon Ball Z is not about that. Dragon Ball Z is not as much as about the emotion of someone dying. It's the emotion of you being put down to the ground and you getting back up. In Attack on Titan, it's more of a drama more than anything, and it has more of a different take on the story. Dragon Ball Z is all about going from 0 to 100 as fast as possible.
Yeah, Attack on Titan, it's like it's all dark. It's meant to there's supposed to be no
different tone, different story, different angle. You can't compare it to animes like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think silence belongs in animes like Dragon Ball Z? Even for a moment.
Okay, for a moment, but that's it. Why would anybody complain after that? That doesn't make sense. Why would you want to hear people...
That's why people preferred Battle of Gods a lot, because you had the Chala music, you had all this stuff.
That's when it was
But then briefly, remember when Beerus was staring down Goku
That's
and stuff?
the most boring
was
part of the movie right there. Exactly what you're talking about. That's the most boring part. When they're playing the Chala part, that was the best part, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, it was. But then during that moment when they were staring each other down, it was very tense. And I was actually reading this from some people. So they were saying it felt so real because in a real life scenario, when you're staring someone down, it's like that moment of a moment of tension before something big happens, and then it happened.
Yes, what you're saying there is that they're trying to make it realistic, like human being type fighting, which is stupid because just because of the fact that in real life we won't hear music in the background doesn't mean we want it in an anime.
I mean, even for Revival of F. I don't know if you guys watched it. I mean, you guys watched it with me, of course. But remember that moment where Goku blasted Frieza with the Kamehameha, and Frieza came out the water, and Goku's like, just go home. Nobody's going to talk bad about you, just go home. And Frieza was screaming, and he broke all the rocks. And then when Goku finally came down to look at him before he got shot in the heart, there was a moment of silence. Even though they had some Japanese music. Same thing when Vegeta was about to kill Frieza. Moment of silence.
That's the thing. We saw that leaked clip with Vegeta with his God theme, like a custom-made God theme. That was amazing. When you see it in the movie, it's stale. There's no music.
Well, I mean, for the Japanese version, of course, we don't know what they're cooking up for the American version.
No, it's almost the same exact thing if it's going to be in the movie. They took
think
the same exact soundtrack in Battle of Gods. And
so again, there's going to be moments of silence. Are you going to be bothered by that?
I am bothered by that. That same part you're talking about, Battle of Gods, especially the first few punches after he went into Super Saiyan God, it was stale. Until they cued the music and the ground shattered below them, that's when it really went upbeat and caught on.
So the bottom line is this. Do you see Bruce coming back? in a realistic manner here.
If we
because
can get
Dragon Ball Super is coming out the 5th, but there's no word yet on any sort of leak information on Funimation doing any dubs. I mean, of course, Resurrection of F it's practically almost finished. That's already over and done with. But the show, do you think there's time for there to be some sort of negotiation for Bruce to come back?
There's enough time. Japanese dub to American dub takes a very long time, like almost a year, maybe 8 months at most. That's enough time for it to make music and get him signed on it. So with all of our support, maybe.
And it's because of your support. Why don't you explain to the people watching this just how important everybody is into doing this?
All right, so guys, me, Alex, and Sean have been preaching this for years and years and years, since our first days on YouTube, that Bruce Faulconer is what made Dragon Ball Z what it is today. He's one of the main reasons why we love this show so much, and we need to support him in every way possible. You have to get his name out, tweet him out there, put him on Facebook, Instagram, tell Dragon Ball Z, the company, or whoever you have to.
Funimation, of course, they need to get their act together, but
you guys have to hire Bruce for Dragon Ball Super. You absolutely have to support any video you see with Bruce. Make sure all of the feedback is positive.
And make sure you...
And yes, there are going to be a lot of you that are going to be negative. I read some comments saying where, I forgot the guy's, Matt, I believe it was Matt something, he composed music for Bruce Faulconer, so pretty much trying to suggest that Bruce Faulconer had like a ghostwriter. Some people would suggest that Bruce Faulconer didn't really make all of his music by himself. Even if he didn't, he still had, you know, a significant impact to where he actually dictated whether or not, you know, the song would be inputted or not. So again, what we're trying to say here is it's not because of me, it's not because of Paul, it's not because of Rhyme Style, it's not because of Fatal Brotherhood, it's not because of, you know, the Forever World, it's because of all of us. We all made this happen because every single person that's a Dragon Ball Z content creator, supporter, you know, fan, we all brought this together because the more support we give and the more notoriety, excuse me, the more notoriety we bring to the table, the more a franchise can grow. And Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion, because of everybody's support, has grown so much since 2012. It's skyrocketed. And none of us, not a single fucking soul watching this, ever thought we would have a new TV show this early. So it's because of you guys. Now for Bruce Faulconer, of course, there's a split. Some of you guys love him. Some of you guys love his music and his work. Some of you guys hate him. Some of you guys hate him because you think that he over-exaggerates songs. Some of you guys hate him because you feel as if he didn't compose all of his music. Some of you guys hate him because you guys feel as if the music doesn't click with the characters. So I personally think, in my opinion, he should be brought back because you will see the changes in every character. And if you guys don't believe me, just go back and watch the original Dragon Ball Z, you know, sequences with, you know, Gohan and Cell, Frieza and Goku, Majin Buu and Vegeta. Just go back and watch that stuff. It speaks for itself. I mean, if you guys have anything to add, let them know, because I can go on with Bruce Faulconer. I mean, yeah, there were certain songs that completely sucked, but I think he had more songs that were better than.
But those songs didn't really make it into the final show.
I mean, he did also have unreleased tracks.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people that compose music, they have unreleased tracks. So they never make it into the show because they kind of suck. They have their goods and their bads, but his music tells a story.
And a lot of you guys also might say something about voice actors. I mean, at this point, I've accepted it. We're never gonna have the original Frieza, the original Bulma, the original Gohan back for voice actors. We just have to move on. At some point in life, we're gonna have to move on with someone else replacing Goku and Vegeta one day.
No, never.
It's gonna happen when we're old men, dude.
I will resurrect them myself, man. I will resurrect them myself.
It's gonna happen. You have to remember, people grow old, people's talents wear away, some people die, you know? Like, one day in the future, that's gonna happen. I believe the franchise will last forever, but music, acting, you know, just the whole concept of keeping it together is gonna have to evolve one day.
Sean Schimmel. Sean Schimmel. We must read.
And as you can see with Dragon Ball Z into Kai, there was an evolution. Different voice actors, different music. So one day there will be another great evolution where they're gonna replace the current music with something else, the current voice actors with other people. So it all goes down on, you know, what really happens in the end. But in the long run, I believe that Bruce Faulconer should be doing music. So I mean, if you guys have anything to add, you have the floor on this one.
I think we got our point across. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like your favorite, support Bruce Faulconer and anything to do with him.
And if you guys are Dragon Ball Z fans, don't forget to subscribe. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. If you guys hate him, let me know why. If you guys love him, again, let us know why. We want to know your overall thoughts and opinions on his music. Not him as a person, not him as anything else. What are your thoughts on his music that had to connect with the characters? Because if you type in Vegeta's theme song, Goku Super Saiyan 3 theme song, Super Boost theme song, Cell's theme song, they all have like their own atmosphere and emotion. And of course, you know, if it were up to me, if I can't get Faulconer, I wouldn't go with the Kai people. I would try to hire an independent music producer like the Enigma TNG. I think his music speaks for itself. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard his Super Saiyan God Broly theme and all that kind of stuff, but it's sick. So let us know what you guys think, and thank you all for watching once again. Stay tuned for more, and from us to you guys, we'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Peace. Clone Sean Chima.